The rain hammered the tin roof of the old pickup truck like 1,000 accusations, each drop a reminder of secrets buried too deep. Joshua gripped the steering wheel until his knuckles bleached white. His eyes fixed on the blurred taillights of the car ahead, Daniel's beat-up Honda, weaving erratically down the slick Iowa backroad. "Fuck," he muttered, slamming the gas pedal, heart jackhammering as memories clawed their way up. Promises whispered in the dead of night, vows to protect the kid brother who'd always looked up to him like he was some goddamn superhero. But superheroes didn't let their siblings spiral into the abyss. By the time Joshua caught up, Daniel had pulled over on the shoulder, the Honda's engine ticking like a bomb about to blow. He killed his own motor and bolted out into the downpour, boots splashing through mud puddles that swallowed his ankles. Daniel was slumped over the wheel, shoulders shaking, not from the cold, Joshua knew, but from the kind of sobs that hollowed you out. "Danny," Joshua barked, yanking the passenger door open. Water cascaded off his jacket as he hauled his brother upright, the kid's face a mess of snot and salt water. "What the hell happened? You said it was urgent. Texted me that bullshit about needing to talk now." Daniel's eyes, red-rimmed and wild, locked onto his. "It's over, Josh. Everything. I told her. About me. About us." His voice cracked on the last word, and Joshua's stomach dropped like he'd been sucker punched. Her mom. The woman who'd raised them single-handed after Dad bailed for some floozy in Des Moines. The one who'd drilled into them that family stuck together, no matter what. But us? That wasn't just Daniel's secret spilling out. It was the crack in the dam Joshua had spent years reinforcing. "Get in," Joshua growled, shoving Daniel toward the truck's cab. They piled in, the door slamming shut like a coffin lid, sealing them in the humid stink of wet denim and unspoken truths. Joshua cranked the heat, but it did nothing for the chill settling in his bones. Daniel curled against the passenger door, arms wrapped around his knees, looking smaller than the scrawny 15-year-old who'd once begged Joshua to teach him how to throw a curveball. "She freaked, man. Called me a freak. Said I'd burn in hell for liking boys. Said if Dad knew, he'd disown us both." Daniel's laugh was bitter, jagged. Like he gives a shit. "But you promised, Josh. You said we'd never tell. That it'd stay locked up forever." Joshua's throat tightened, the weight of that promise crashing down. It had been 6 years ago, in the dim glow of their shared bedroom during a Midwest blizzard, when Daniel, barely legal, had confessed his first fumbling crush on the quarterback from school. Joshua, fresh out of the closet to himself but terrified of the fallout in their Bible Belt town of Cedar Rapids, had pulled him close and sworn, "We keep this buried, kid. For Mom. For the family. I'll never out myself if it means protecting you." It was a lie born of love, a shield forged in fear. But now, with Daniel unraveling, that shield felt like a noose. "I didn't mean for this," Joshua said, voice rough as gravel. He reached over, hesitating before squeezing Daniel's shoulder. Solid now, from years of hauling hay bales on Uncle Ray's farm, but still fragile underneath. "We'll fix it. Crash at my place in Chicago tonight. Give her space to cool off." Chicago, the city that had swallowed Joshua whole 3 years back. A sprawling beast of steel and secrets where he could breathe without the ghost of Dad's judgmental stare. He'd built a life there, bartending at a dive in Wrigleyville, hooking up in shadowed alleys with guys who didn't ask for more than a night. No strings, no risks. Until Daniel's texts started coming. Cryptic pleas, Late-night calls laced with desperation. Daniel wiped his face with his sleeve, the motion smearing mud across his cheek. "You don't get it. She knows about you too." I slipped. Told her you're the reason I turned out like this. That my big brother, the golden boy who fixed the tractor and aced shop class, is gay too. The word hung in the cab like smoke, acrid and choking. Joshua's vision tunneled, the rain outside blurring into a gray haze. Gay. He'd never said it aloud to family, never let it breach the walls he'd built. In Cedar Rapids, it was the unspoken curse, the thing that got you beat down behind the bleachers or whispered about at church potlucks. Jesus, Danny, Joshua breathed, head thumping back against the seat. His mind raced, Mom's face crumpling, her rosary beads clicking like gunfire as she pieced it together. The family gatherings that would turn poisonous. Uncle Ray's beer-fueled rants about the gays ruining America. And Dad, God, if he ever crawled back from whatever bar he'd washed up in, it'd be apocalypse. But beneath the panic, a spark ignited. Fury at the world that made them hide, at himself for letting Daniel carry this alone. Daniel turned, eyes pleading in the dashboard glow. "I'm sorry, Josh, but I couldn't anymore. The pressure is killing me. Begging you, please, say it. Come out first. For me. Show her it's not some phase, not my fault. That we're us." His hand found Joshua's, fingers intertwining in a grip that trembled with everything unsaid. The stolen glances at family barbecues, the coded texts about crushes, the brotherly bond twisted into something deeper, more sacred. Joshua stared at their joined hands, the rain a relentless drumbeat. He'd promised never. But promises broke like waves on Lake Michigan, and in that moment, with his brother's soul fracturing before him, he felt the dam give way. "All right," he whispered, the word tasting like freedom and fire. "We'll do it together. But first, we drive." Chicago's waiting. The truck roared back to life, headlights cutting through the storm like defiant blades. As they merged onto the interstate, Joshua's phone buzzed. Mom's number, a voicemail icon blinking. He let it sit, ignored, for now. The road unspooled ahead, black and endless, carrying them toward a reckoning neither was ready for. But for Daniel, Joshua would shatter every vow. Because some loves demanded you stand in the storm and scream your truth to the thunder. They drove through the night, the wipers slapping rhythmically, a metronome to Daniel's halting confessions. It started small. The boy in high school gym class whose laugh made his stomach flip, the stolen kiss behind the grain silo that tasted like rebellion and regret. "I thought I was broken," Daniel admitted, voice barely audible over the engine's hum. "Like God skipped me when he handed out the straight jeans." Joshua nodded, jaw clenched, memories flooding back, his own first time, awkward and urgent in the back of a borrowed Chevy with a farmhand who smelled of hay and aftershave. No romance, just release. "We're not broken," he said finally. "The world's the one that's cracked." By dawn, the flatlands of Iowa gave way to the rolling hills of Illinois, the sky lightening to a bruised purple. Daniel dozed against the window, exhaustion claiming him, but Joshua's mind churned like the Mississippi below. Chicago loomed, a siren call of anonymity, but now it felt like a trap. How do you come out when the closet's a family heirloom? Passed down like Dad's old fishing rod? He thought of Mom's kitchen, the scent of apple pie mingling with cigarette smoke, her stories of Dad's wild youth before he turned mean. She'd loved him fierce, flaws and all. Could she love them this way? The city skyline pierced the horizon around noon, a jagged crown of glass and grit. Joshua navigated the loop's snarl, horns blaring like impatient lovers, until they reached his walk-up in Logan Square, a third-floor shoebox with peeling wallpaper and a view of the L tracks rattling by. He shook Daniel awake as they parked. "Home sweet hellhole," he quipped, forcing a grin. Daniel managed a weak smile, hauling his duffel from the Honda. Inside, the apartment smelled of stale coffee and takeout lo mein, a bachelor's testament to survival over style. They collapsed on the sagging couch, a six-pack of Goose Island pulled from the fridge. Daniel cracked one, foam spilling over his knuckles. "Remember that summer at the lake? When Dad caught us wrestling in the water and called us a couple of pansies?" Joshua chuckled, the sound hollow. "Yeah. Thought he'd drown us both. It was their code. Those half-remembered jabs, the foundation of their pact." But as the beer loosened tongues, Daniel's facade crumbled. "I met someone, Josh, in college. Real, not some fantasy. But after Mom, I ghosted him. Can't drag him into this mess." Joshua's heart ached, a deep, resonant throb. He pictured Daniel, bright-eyed poli-sci major at UIUC, debating queer theory in dorm rooms while hiding his own desires. "His name," he prompted gently. "Alex. Plays guitar. Has this tattoo of a compass on his forearm. Points north. Always." Daniel's voice softened, laced with longing. Joshua swallowed hard, envy flickering unbidden. His own flings were forgettable, quick fucks in bathroom stalls, names erased by morning. "Sounds solid. Don't let fear win, Danny. That's what we're fighting." The afternoon bled into evening, shadows lengthening across the hardwood. Joshua fired up the ancient laptop, pulling up Amtrak schedules half-heartedly. We could bolt to New York. Start over. But Daniel shook his head, fierce now. "No running. Face it head-on. Call her back. Tell her we're coming home. For Thanksgiving, like nothing's changed." Then we dropped the bomb. Joshua's finger hovered over the play button on the voicemail. Mom's voice filled the room, tinny and tear-choked. "Boys, if you're hearing this, Daniel's told you. God forgive us all. Come home, Joshua. We need to talk. Family first. Always." The words landed like punches, each one bruising deeper. Family first. The mantra that had chained them. He deleted it, phone clattering to the table. "Tomorrow," he said, pulling Daniel into a rough hug. "We sleep on it." But sleep evaded Joshua, the city's pulse thrumming through the walls, sirens wailing, lovers arguing in the alley below. He lay awake, arm draped over Daniel's sleeping form on the couch, listening to his brother's even breaths. This was love, raw and unyielding, not the fireworks of romance, but the quiet ferocity of blood ties tested by fire. Morning brought coffee black as sin and resolve forged in its dregs. They boarded the train south, the Heartland Flyer slicing through cornfields golden under November sun. Daniel sketched idly in his notebook, abstract swirls that hinted at chaos, while Joshua stared out the window, rehearsing speeches in his head. "I love you, Mom. But I love men too." Simple words, seismic shift. Cedar Rapids greeted them with crisp air and the faint rot of leaf piles. Mom's station wagon idled at the Amtrak stop, her figure silhouetted against the dashboard light, thinner than he remembered, silver threading her bun. She didn't hug them, just nodded curtly. Get in. The drive home was silent, the radio murmuring classic rock. Springsteen crooning about highways and heartbreak, fitting as a bad joke. The house on Elm Street hadn't changed. Faded siding, the Virgin Mary statue in the yard gazing skyward. Inside, the kitchen table groaned under pot roast and mashed potatoes, a forced feast. Mom set plates with mechanical precision, eyes avoiding theirs. Eat, she said, voice flat. Daniel poked at his food. Appetite fled. Joshua shoveled bites, the normalcy of farce. Finally, as gravy congealed, Mom spoke. Your father called. Heard from Ray. Wants to know why his sons are unnatural. The word sliced clean, drawing blood. Daniel flinched. Joshua's fork clattered. Unnatural? He echoed, heat rising. Loving who we love makes us unnatural? What about Dad's affairs? Mom, that natural. Her slap echoed, palm stinging his cheek. Don't you dare. He provided. You too. You're tearing us apart. Tears tracked her face. Mascara rivers. Daniel stood, chair scraping. We're not tearing, we're being real. Josh has hidden it for me, all these years. Because he loves me enough to wait. But I can't hide anymore. And neither can he. The room spun, Joshua's pulse thundering. The promise shattered in that instant, shards embedding deep. He rose, facing her, his mother, the woman who'd bandaged knees and whispered bedtime stories. It's true, Mom. I'm gay. Have been since high school. Daniel's not alone in this. We stand together. Silence swallowed them, thick as fog off the Cedar River. Mom sank into her chair, hands trembling. My boys, she whispered, broken. What have I done wrong? Joshua knelt, taking her hands, cold, work-worn from years at the diner. Nothing. You raised us strong. Now let us be us. Daniel joined, a triangle of touch, fragile bridge over chasm. But bridges burn easy, and as night fell, the first cracks showed. Uncle Ray's truck rumbled into the drive, headlights accusatory beams. Family meeting, he bellowed, reeking of whiskey. The backlash had begun. Uncle Ray burst through the screen door like a bull in a china shop, his flannel straining over a gut earned from too many Friday night fish fries. The porch light haloed him in harsh yellow, casting shadows that clawed across the linoleum. Mom startled, her coffee mug clinking against the saucer, but Joshua was already on his feet, body coiling like a spring. Daniel hovered behind, fists balled, the air thick with the prelude to war. Ray, Mom started, voice quavering. This ain't the time. The hell it ain't. Ellen. Ray's bellow drowned her, spittle flecking his beard. He jabbed a meaty finger at Joshua. Then Daniel, eyes bloodshot and blazing. Heard from the church ladies. My own nephews, prancing around like a couple of fairies. What kind of poison you been feedin', woman? After all Tom did. Tom left. Joshua cut in, stepping forward, his voice a low growl honed from Chicago bar fights. Left us high and dry when Danny was 10. Don't you dare invoke him now. Ray's face purpled, veins bulging like rivers on a map. He was the family patriarch by default, Dad's brother, the one who'd stepped in with hand-me-down tools and half-assed advice, preaching bootstraps and holy matrimony while nursing his own divorces. Daniel edged closer, shoulder brushing Joshua's, a silent alliance. We ain't poison, Uncle. We're just tired of lying. Ray laughed, a bark devoid of mirth. Lying? Boy, this ain't some college experiment. It's sin. Straight to hell, both of ya. And takin your mother down with it. He turned to her, softening fractionally, the manipulator's pivot. Ellen, pack up. Come stay with me and the kids. Leave these abominations to rot. The word landed like a gut shot. Joshua surged, grabbing Ray's collar, slamming him against the fridge. Magnets scattering like shrapnel, family photos fluttering to the floor. One caught Joshua's eye, him and Daniel at 8 and 4, gap-toothed grins in little league jerseys. Mom beaming behind. Get out, he snarled, breath hot against Ray's face. Before I make you. Ray's eyes widened, then narrowed to slits. He shoved back, hard enough to send Joshua stumbling. You threatening kin? After I bailed you out of that juvie stint for stealing Dad's truck? Ungrateful queer. The slur twisted like a knife. But Joshua held, muscles quivering. Daniel lunged, pulling Ray toward the door. Enough. You're not family if you can't love us as we are. Mom wailed, a keening that pierced the chaos. Stop, all of you, my boys. My brother. She collapsed into a chair, sobs racking her frame. Ray straightened his shirt, mustache twitching with disdain. Fine. Rot here. But don't come crawling when the town turns on ya. Cedar Rapids, don't forget. He stormed out, truck engine roaring to life, tires spitting gravel as he peeled away. The door banged shut, leaving a vacuum. Joshua slid down the wall, adrenaline crashing, chest heaving. Daniel knelt beside him, hand on his back, steadying circles, like Mom used to do after nightmares. You okay? Daniel whispered. Joshua nodded, throat too tight for words. The fight had been brewing since the voicemail, whispers from church gossips reaching Ray's ears like poison ivy creeping the fence line. Mom rose shakily, fetching the broom to sweep up the debris, literal and not. He means well, she murmured, more to herself. Just scared. Like me. She paused, broom bristles whispering over the floor. Joshua. Daniel. Is it true? Both of you. They nodded in unison, the admission a shared exhale. Mom's face crumpled anew, but this time, something shifted, resignation edging toward resolve. Then we'll face it. Together. But Ray. He'll poison the well. Church picnic tomorrow. Everyone'll know. Sleep came fitful that night, the house creaking like old bones. Joshua bunked in his childhood room, posters of Nolan Ryan and Ford Broncos faded ghosts on the walls. Daniel slipped in around 2 a.m., mattress dipping under his weight. Can't sleep, he admitted, curling against Joshua's side. It was innocent, had always been, the comfort of siblings against the dark. But tonight, charged with confession, felt electric. Thanks for fighting for me, Daniel murmured. Always knew you would. Joshua draped an arm over him, chin resting on Daniel's hair, still that boyish cowlick. Promised, didn't I? Even if I broke the big one. They lay there, breaths sinking, the world outside a cocoon of cricket chirps and distant train whistles. For a moment, it was just them, two boys against the Midwest wind, unbreakable. Dawn broke gray and grudging, frost etching the windows. Mom bustled in the kitchen, pancakes sizzling, comfort food armor. Eat up. Church at 9. Then picnic. Her eyes darted, avoiding mirrors. Joshua shoveled syrup-drenched bites. Stomach knotted. Daniel picked at his, nerves jangling. "What if they shun us?" he asked quietly. Mom's spatula paused. "Then we find a new pew." God don't hate his children. It was progress, tentative as a toddler's step, but Joshua clung to it. Mary's loomed on the hill, steeple stabbing the overcast sky. The parking lot buzzed with Suburbans and F-150s, families in starched khakis streaming toward the double doors. Heads turned as the trio approached, whispers rustling like dry leaves. Mrs. Hargrove, the choir director who'd baked Joshua's graduation cake, crossed herself. Father O'Malley nodded stiffly from the vestibule, his homily on forgiveness ringing ironic. Inside, the pews creaked under communal weight, stained glass painting the altar in jewel tones. Joshua sat ramrod straight, Daniel's knee bumping his, a Morse code of solidarity. The sermon droned, parables of prodigal sons, but Ray's glare from the front row twisted it to judgment. Communion came, wafer dry on Joshua's tongue, wine tart as regret. As they filed out, the gauntlet awaited. Sidelong stares, a child's innocent mommy, wise Uncle Josh sad. The picnic sprawled across the church lawn, blankets checkered with Tupperware, the air sweet with cider and suspicion. Kids chased frisbees, adults clustered, voices dipping low. Uncle Ray held court by the grill, flipping burgers with theatrical flips, his audience a knot of aunts and cousins. "Tell ya, it's the cities," he boomed as Joshua neared with plates. "Chicago, New York, turn good boys rotten. Next thing, they'll be marchin' in them parades, half naked." Cousin Lisa, Ray's eldest, smirked into her Jell-O salad. Her Joshua's shacked up with some artist type. No wonder. The lie stung. Joshua's life was solitary, save for Daniel's visits, but it spread like flu season. Joshua's plate trembled. Daniel gripped his wrist under the picnic table. "Ignore him," he hissed. But ignoring was a luxury they couldn't afford. Mom approached then, potato salad in hand, her smile brittle. "Ray, enough. They're family." Ray wheeled, tongs waving like a scepter. "Family? This ain't the Brady Bunch, Ellen. Tom's rollin' in his grave. Wait, he's alive, drunk in a ditch somewhere." Point stands. Laughter rippled. Cruel chorus. Daniel snapped first, standing so fast his chair tipped. "You don't know shit about us." Josh gave up everything, his shot at the pros, stayed local to help Mom, all to protect this family. "And for what? Your bigotry." Voices hushed, eyes wide. Ray's face mottled. "Watch your mouth, boy. Or I'll." "You'll what?" Joshua interjected, rising fluidly, body shielding Daniel. The lawn seemed to hold its breath, children frozen mid-chase. "Hit me? Like Dad did when he found my stash of those magazines?" Newsflash. "Uncle, we're not hiding anymore." The admission boomed, carrying on the breeze. Gasps rippled. A toddler wailed. Ray lunged, fist cocked, but Father O'Malley materialized, hand on his shoulder. "Raymond." "Peace." The priest's eyes, kind behind wire rims, flicked to Joshua. "Son, a word." He steered Ray away, murmuring scripture like a leash. The picnic fractured after that. Blankets folded hastily, goodbyes clipped. Mom drove home in silence, knuckles white on the wheel. "I'm sorry," she said finally, pulling into the drive. "For not seeing sooner." Daniel leaned forward from the back seat. You see now? Mom nodded, tears glistening. I do. And I'll fight too. That night, the house felt lighter, secrets aired like laundry on the line. Joshua and Daniel sprawled on the living room rug, old VHS tapes whirring, Top Gun, a safe nostalgia. Mom joined, wine glass in hand, her laughter tentative but real as Maverick quipped. For hours, they pretended. No slurs, no stares. Just brothers, mother, movie. But pretense cracked at midnight. Joshua's phone lit the dark. Unknown number. Voicemail. He played it, heart sinking. Dad's voice, slurred and seismic. Heard the news. Boy. From Ray. You and the kid. Disgusting. Don't call. Ever. Click. The betrayal burned. Not from the words, but the timing crawling out of hiding to wound. Daniel stirred, sensing the shift. Him. Joshua nodded, deleting it. Yeah. Some things never change. Daniel pulled him close. Hug fierce. We will. Starting now. The next day's blurred. Mom calling off Ray's invites. Shopping for rainbow pins online with a blush. Daniel texted Alex, tentative olive branches. Joshua, emboldened, downloaded Grindr, thumb hovering over profiles. But freedom tasted bittersweet, laced with the town's chill. Then betrayal struck deep. At the diner, shift mom pulled double to avoid gossip. A coworker slipped. Ellen, Ray's startin' a petition. Get you 3 out of the parish. The knife twisted, family fracturing further. Joshua fumed, pacing the kitchen. We leave. Now. Chicago. Start fresh. But Daniel hesitated, eyes on Mom's weary face. She needs us here. To heal. The crossroads loomed. Love demanding sacrifice. Joshua saw it then. Coming out wasn't the end, but the forge hammering them stronger, or breaking them clean. The petition circulated like a virus through Cedar Rapids' veins. Ray's handiwork, signatures scrawled on church bulletins and gas station receipts. By midweek, it had hit 50 names. A digital petition on some Facebook group called Cedar Rapids Faithful ballooning to hundreds. Protect our children from deviant influence, the header screamed. Joshua's old high school photo, gap-toothed grin in a Letterman jacket, plastered beside Daniel's college headshot. Mom found it on her lunch break, scrolling her phone in the diner booth, fork pausing mid-bite of Cobb salad. She burst through the door that afternoon, heels clicking fury, printout clutched like a warrant. Look what your uncle's done, she spat, slamming it on the table. Joshua, nursing coffee at the scarred oak, snatched it up. The words blurred, moral decay, traditional values, but the comments gutted. Always knew Josh was off, from an old flame. Pray for the mother, pitying mom like a martyr. Daniel, home from a campus visit, paled reading over his shoulder. This is war. Joshua crumpled it, veins thrumming with rage. Let M come. We don't bend. But inside, doubt gnawed. Chicago called. A lifeline of anonymity, yet abandoning mom felt like betrayal twice over. She'd started attending a progressive Lutheran group in Iowa City, driving the hour each Sunday, her Bible annotated with highlighter notes on Leviticus debates. I'm learning, she'd say, voice tentative. For you boys, that learning tested at Thanksgiving. The holiday loomed, a minefield of tradition, turkey brining, pies cooling on the sill. Ray's family always crashed, a raucous horde of cousins and pies. But this year, Mom extended the invite via text. All welcome. No conditions. Ray's reply, crickets. The day dawned brittle, frost silvering the fields. Joshua chopped onions for stuffing, eyes watering not from the blade. Daniel set the table, silverware clinking like nervous teeth. Mom basted the bird, humming off-key carols, her armor a forced cheer. By noon, the doorbell rang, not Ray, but Lisa and her kids, tentative flag of truce. He wouldn't come, she admitted, hugging Mom stiffly. Says it's on you to repent. The kids, oblivious, tore into deviled eggs. Adults tiptoed conversation. Crops, weather, the Hawkeyes' losing streak. Joshua caught Lisa's eye, probing. You sign it, she flushed, glancing away. I hesitated. But family, Josh. Blood. Blood don't mean blind, he countered, voice low. Daniel, eavesdropping, snorted into his mashed potatoes. The meal progressed, laughter bubbling fitful, until the pie course. Little Emma, Lisa's youngest, piped up, Uncle Josh, why's Grandpa Ray mad? Did you steal his tools again? The table froze. Mom coughed. Lisa shushed. But Joshua leaned in, gentle. Nah, kiddo. Sometimes grown-ups get scared of things they don't understand. Like when you were afraid of the dark. Uncle Ray's just in the dark. Emma nodded sagely, cream on her nose. We can leave the light on, simple wisdom, piercing as a sermon. Ray's absence echoed, a ghost at the feast. As dusk fell, Lisa lingered on the porch. Kids buckled in the minivan. He's hurting, Josh. Dad's ways hard to unlearn. But tell Daniel. I'm proud. For speaking. She hugged him awkward. Then Daniel, whispering, call me. Anytime. The door shut, leaving quiet. Mom poured eggnog, spiking it liberal. To us, she toasted, glass raised. The misfits, they clinked, the sound crystalline, a vow renewed. But peace fractured that night. Joshua's phone buzzed. Dad again. Number spoofed. Saw the petition. Knew you were weak, just like your old man. Slurred venom, then a pause. But Daniel, that's on you. Corrupting the baby. Click. Joshua hurled the phone, screen cracking against the wall. Daniel found him on the back stoop, staring at stars pricking the black. He reached out. Daniel guessed, settling beside. Joshua nodded, handing over the shattered device. Wants to play villain. Again. Daniel scrolled the call log, face hardening. Block him. For good. But blocking felt incomplete, a half measure against the man who'd shaped their shame. The next morning, resolve hardened. Joshua drove Daniel back to UIUC, the Honda packed with leftovers and unspoken plans. Cornstalks whipped by golden sentinels. Alex coming home for break? Joshua asked. Casual. Daniel grinned. First real one in days. Yeah. Meeting the fam. If you'll chaperone. Deal. But if he breaks your heart, I break his fingers. Brotherly threat, laced with love. Champaign-Urbana unfolded. College sprawl of brick and bikes. They unloaded at the dorm. Daniel's room a chaos of posters. Biden '08 faded beside Frida Kahlo prints. Alex waited, lanky in a beanie, guitar case slung. The infamous Joshua, he said, Handshake firm, eyes warm on Daniel. Heard you're the hero type. Joshua clapped his back. Just the brother type. They talked, easy, over pizza. Alex's stories of open mics and queer poetry slams a window to worlds untasted. As Joshua left, hugging Daniel fierce in the hall, pride swelled. Own it, kid. You've got this. Back in Cedar Rapids, the petition peaked. 200 signatures. Ray crowing on local radio. Some AM blowhard show decrying the gay agenda invading heartland values. Mom rallied, countering with flyers at the co-op. Love thy neighbor, all neighbors. Joshua joined, stapling under overcast skies. Strangers' stares a gauntlet walked. Then betrayal's blade turned inward. At the diner's evening rush, Mom overheard the owner, old Mr. Wilkins, who'd pinched her cheek since high school, muttering to the cook, Ellen's boys. Can't have that taint in the kitchen. Might scare customers. She quit on the spot, apron flung, chin high. Won't let you poison my life too. Home. She wept, not defeat, but release. Joshua held her, Daniel brewing tea. What now? She asked, voice small. We build, Joshua said. New job. New us. The climax brewed that weekend. Ray's family intervention, announced via group text, neutral ground, the VFW hall. For Ellen's sake, it read. Mom agreed, steel in her spine. We go. End this. Saturday night, the hall smelled of stale beer and varnish. Fluorescent buzz overhead. Ray sat at the head table, flanked by aunts, cousins, a tribunal. Dad's chair empty, but his shadow loomed. Ellen. Ray started, voice oily. We love you. But this path, it's destructive. Mom stood, unwavering. Destructive? Hiding my sons, that destroyed us. Joshua. Daniel, speak. Joshua rose, pulse steady. I love men. Have since I was 16. Hid it to protect Mom, this family. But love ain't a choice, Uncle. It's breath. Applause trickled, Lisa, cousin nodding. Daniel followed. Alex makes me whole. You could too, if you'd try. Ray slammed the table. Blasphemy. Tom's blood runs true, straight. You shame him. The dam broke. A great uncle, forgotten in the corner, wheezed, Tom, the man who bedded half the county? Pot, kettle. Laughter cracked the tension. Ray sputtered. Mom seized it. Enough. We're done hiding. Join or step aside. Chaos erupted, shouts, tears, a chair toppling. Joshua pulled Daniel back as fists clenched, but words won the field. Ray stormed out, acolytes trailing, but fissures showed. Lisa staying, hugging Mom. I'm in. Outside, under sodium lamps, the brothers debriefed on the hood of the Honda. We survived, Daniel breathed, exhilarated. Joshua grinned, but shadows lingered, Dad's calls, the town's slow thaw. Romance flickered too. A text from a Chicago hookup. Miss that flannel, but deeper. Daniel's hand in his familial anchor. Yet betrayal's echo resounded. Monday. Mail brought Dad's letter, scrawled on bar napkin. Disowned. Don't darken my door. Mailed from a Reno flophouse. Postmark damning. Joshua burned it in the sink. Flames dancing. His loss. But loss it was. A hollow carved. As winter deepened, bonds mended slow. Mom waitressed at the co-op. Patrons warming. Daniel brought Alex home, nerves electric. Dinner a triumph of awkward charm. Joshua watched, heart full, his own desires stirring, a barista at the diner, dark eyes lingering. The storm broke literal one February Eve. Blizzard howling, power flickering. They huddled by the fireplace. Mom, Daniel, Alex, Joshua, stories weaving like smoke. Remember the promise? Daniel teased Joshua. Never come out. Joshua laughed, arm around him. Best broken vow ever. But under the warmth, tension simmered. Alex's glances at Daniel, possessive. Joshua's solitude a quiet ache. Love's facets, brotherly, maternal, budding romantic. The human tapestry, threads pulling tight. Spring thawed cedar rapids slow. Ice dams dripping from eaves like reluctant tears. The Cedar River swelling with meltwater and memory. Joshua found rhythm in the rhythm of rebirth. Mornings at the co-op. Stocking shelves with organic kale and fair trade coffee. Afternoons walking the trails where he'd once skipped stones with Daniel, dreaming of escape. The town whispered less now. Petition faded to footnote. Ray's radio rants ignored like static. But scars lingered, pink and puckered, reminders that healing wasn't linear. Alex integrated seamless, a fixture at Sunday suppers. His guitar strumming folk covers of Dylan while Mom hummed along, her foot tapping uncharacteristically. Boys got soul, she'd say, passing the cornbread, pride edging her voice. Daniel bloomed under it, shoulders squaring, laugh freer, Urbana weekends balanced with home roots. He's the one, Josh. He'd confide over late-night beers on the porch, stars winking approval. Feels like coming home, Joshua toasted, but envy nipped sharp, unbidden. His own pursuits stalled. The barista, Mateo, with olive skin and a smile like sin, flirted bold over lattes. You free Friday? Jazz at the Blue Note, Joshua demurred, excuses piling like snowdrifts. Work, truth, fear. Coming out to family was earthquake. To a stranger, it risked aftershocks, rejection raw, no blood buffer. Mateo persisted, notes tucked in to-go cups. Your eyes could launch 1,000 ships. Or just coffee dates. Joshua pocketed them, warmth curling low. One night, post-shift, he texted, Blue Note. 8. Heart hammering like a freight train. The club pulsed low-lit, sax wailing melancholy over bourbon haze. Mateo waited at a corner table, button down unstarched, eyes lighting as Joshua slid in. You came. His hand brushed Joshua's, electric, intentional. They talked. Mateo's move from L.A., chasing Midwest affordability, Joshua's Chicago detour, the pullback for Daniel. Family's everything, Mateo said, thumb tracing Joshua's knuckle. Mine disowned me at 17. Built my own since. The vulnerability hooked Joshua, line and sinker. They danced slow, bodies aligning in the dim, to Coltrane's ballad, Mateo's breath warm on his neck. Stay, Mateo murmured as last call loomed. Joshua did, the drive to Mateo's apartment a blur of stolen kisses at stoplights. Morning light filtered through blinds, gilding Mateo's rumpled sheets. Joshua woke to coffee brewing, Mateo's laugh from the kitchen. Pancakes? My abuela's recipe. Domestic. Easy, dangerous. They ate cross-legged on the floor. Syrup sticky. Stories spilling. Joshua's juvie scrape. Mateo's drag nights in WeHo. You're strong, Mateo said. Serious. Coming out here? Braver than any parade. Joshua's chest tightened. Praise a balm on old wounds. They tumbled back to bed. Lovemaking tender than fierce. Bodies mapping uncharted territories. For the first time, it felt like more than release, connection, roots seeking soil. He floated home, windows down, spring air sweet with lilac. Daniel clocked it immediate, smirking over dish duty. Someone got lucky. Joshua flushed, but grinned. Mateo. The barista. Daniel hooped, soap suds flying. About time. Bring him Sunday. Mom'll grill him on politics. The invite extended. Mateo arrived with wine and nerves. Charming Mom with tales of vegan tacos. Alex and Daniel traded barbs. Easy camaraderie. Laughter filled the house. Full, unforced. But as dusk fell, Joshua caught Mateo's glance lingering. Waited. Later, on the porch swing, Mateo voiced it. This is real. Yeah. Not just rebound from family drama. Joshua kissed him slow, affirming. Real as the river. But doubt whispered. Dad's disownment. Ray's grudge. Could love withstand the undertow? Summer scorched in. Fields waving green oceans. Joshua and Mateo deepened. Weekend hikes in Makokata caves. Blind dates turning habit. Daniel and Alex mirrored. Road tripping to Pride in Chicago. Rainbow flags snapping. Joshua marching arm in arm. Mateo's hand in his. The roar of acceptance a thunderclap to his soul. Back home. Idol cracked. Ray's olive branch. A call to Mom. Voice gruff. Thanksgiving again? Kids miss their grandma. She wavered, consulting the boys. Test him, Joshua said. But go in eyes open. The holiday redux unfolded cautious. Ray's table groaning, but tension hummed like power lines. He grunted hellos, avoiding eyes, but passed the gravy without snark. Little Emma climbed Joshua's lap, chattering about school. Draw me a dragon? She begged. He did. Clumsy lines on a napkin. Fierce. Winged freedom. Ray watched. Silent. Post-feast. As pies sliced, Ray cleared his throat. Heard you got a fella. Josh. Mechanic. Mateo. Invited. Nodded polite from across. Artist. Actually. Murals downtown. Ray fed. Better than slingin' drinks. Grudging approval. Progress. Glacial. But betrayal brewed subterranean. Dad resurfaced, not call, but ambush. Joshua's shift at the co-op. Restocking energy bars. When the bell jingled, tall, hollow-cheeked, reeking of stale smoke and regret. Son. Tom's voice. Gravel over glass. Joshua froze. Cart rattling. What do you want? Customers milled. Oblivious. Tom leaned in. Breath sour. Heard the news. Ray's petition. Thought you'd grown up straight. The jab landed. Old bruise throbbing. Like you? With your parade of sorries. Tom's eyes narrowed. Whiskey gleam. I provided. You? Parading perversion. Daniel too, my baby boy. You poisoned him. Finger jabbing. Voice rising. Shoppers paused. Whispers stirring. Get out, Joshua hissed, steering him toward the door. You're dead to us. Tom resisted. Grip iron on Joshua's arm. I'll tell the world what you are. Ruin you. Mateo appeared then, off shift, picking up kale for stir-fry, witness to the fray. He stepped between. Calm. Let go, sir. Or I call the cops. Tom's sneer faltered. He released, stalking out. This ain't over. Joshua sagged against shelves. Adrenaline crash. Mateo hugged him tight, murmuring Spanish comforts. Breathe. You handled it. But the threat lingered, Dad's vindictiveness a specter. That night, family council. Mom pale, Daniel furious, Alex supportive. Restraining order? Alex suggested. Law student practicality. Joshua nodded, but deeper confrontation. He wants war? We end it. The plan hatched. Track Tom to his Reno dive. A road trip of reckoning. Daniel opted out, Alex in finals. But Mateo insisted, I'm in. Partners, right? They drove west. I-80 a ribbon through Nebraska plains. Radio crooning Willie Nelson laments. Motel stops blurred, greasy spoons, tangled sheets. Mateo's head on Joshua's chest. Love you, Mateo whispered one dawn, words slipping easy as sunrise. Reno shimmered mirage, casinos blinking garish. Tom's flophouse, sagging Victorian, neon vacancy flickering. They knocked, hearts pounding. Tom answered shirtless, belly spilling over belt, eyes widening. You followed. Ended, Joshua said, Mateo flanking. No more calls. No threats. Or we press charges, harassment, the works. Tom laughed, bitter. Big man now. With your spick boyfriend. Mateo's flinch was visceral. Joshua's fist clenched. Say that again. Silence stretched. Tom's defiance crumbling to defeat. Fine. Leave me be. Ain't worth it. He slammed the door, but the air cleared, ghost exorcised. Relief flooded the drive east. Windows down, wind whipping confessions. Scared me, Mateo admitted. Your dad. Mirror to mine. Joshua squeezed his thigh. We're rewriting the script. Home welcomed. Daniel's bear hug. Mom's lasagna. But joy tempered. Ray's text to Mom. Tom's in town. Stirring shit. The old man had detoured. Poisoning wells anew. Climax crested at the county fair. Midway lights twirling. Funnel cakes frying. Ray cornered them by the Ferris wheel. Tom looming shadow. Family summit, Ray declared. Tom nodding grim. End this farce. The brothers, plus Loves and Mom, faced them under cotton candy haze. Farce, Daniel spat. Our lives ain't a joke, Tom sneered. Shoulda beat it out of you young. Mateo bristled. Alex lawyered up mentally. Mom stepped forward, voice steel. Thomas, you left us broken. They mended. Without you, Ray shifted, uncomfortable. Ellen, no, she turned to Ray. Brother, choose us or hate. Tom scoffed, but Ray hesitated, eyes on Emma waving from the carousel. Kids, he muttered. The wheel turned, lights blurring. Joshua spoke. We forgive. But don't expect welcome till you earn it. Tom stormed off. Alone, Ray lingered, head bowed. Maybe. Coffee sometime. It wasn't absolution, tentative truce. As fireworks bloomed, Joshua kissed Mateo under sparks. Daniel and Alex entwined nearby. Love's mosaic, fractured but fierce. Yet humanity's edge, not all mended clean. Tom's final act, an anonymous letter to Joshua's boss, lies of unstable queer, cost the co-op job. Betrayal's last lash. Autumn gilded Cedar Rapids anew, leaves carpeting Elm Street in fire. reds and golds mirroring the slow burn of renewal. Joshua landed on his feet, Mateo pulling strings at a community center mural project. Vibrant walls depicting Heartland heroes, queer icons woven subtle, Algernon Blackwood's shadows, Audre Lorde's fire. "Your touch," Mateo said, paint splattered, kissing Joshua amid scaffolding. Work healed, hands dirty with purpose. Family evolved mosaic. Ray's coffee's tentative. Gruff apologies thawing to questions. "That Alex kid treat you right, Daniel?" Mom's eyes twinkled, her Lutheran group a beacon. Dad vanished, silence golden. The brothers thrived, Daniel graduating cum laude, Alex's ring on his finger by Christmas. A courthouse elopement with Joshua best man. Mom dabbing tears over cake. Joshua and Mateo's rhythm deepened. Shared lease in a Logan Square walk-up redux. Chicago weekends blending with Iowa roots. Fights flared. Mateo's wanderlust clashing Joshua's anchor. But make-up sex and midnight talks mended. Love a verb. Active. Yet drama's undercurrent. A local election. Ray's candidate spouting anti-LGBTQ plus bile. Protect traditional marriage. Ray endorsed. Public. The betrayal stung fresh. Thanksgiving boycott ensuing. "Can't abide it," Mom declared. Hosting her own feast. Progressive kin. Lisa's brood. Father O'Malley's blessing. Ray showed uninvited. Pie in hand. Face etched regret. Heard the talk. Don't agree. Not anymore. Skepticism hung. But Emma's hug disarmed. "Grandpa, draw dragons." Ray knelt, napkin in fist. Lines shaky but earnest. "Learning, kiddo. Like you. Forgiveness. Human flawed." Ray attended Daniel's wedding reception. Toast awkward but sincere. "To love that endures." Tom, absent. Rumor of rehab in Vegas. Some redemptions waited offstage. Winter solstice brought the story's heart. Daniel's call. Voice cracking. "Alex." Accident. Drunk driver on 80. Critical. Joshua's world tilted. Tires screeching to Chicago ER. Mateo driving white-knuckled. Halls reeked sterile. Beeps a dirge. Daniel paced waiting room. Hollow-eyed. Slippery roads. He swerved. Mom arrived. Prayers murmured. Ray too. Silent sentinel. Hours stretched. Surgeon emerged. Stable. But long road. Alex pulled through fractures. Therapy but the scare etched deep. In recovery, bandaged and pale, he gripped Daniel's hand. "Marry me proper." "Vows. Now." Joshua officiated bedside. Words blurring. In sickness. Health. Through storms. Healing mirrored. Alex's rehab paralleled Ray's AA meetings. Shared coffees forging unlikely bond. "Never thought I'd thank a queer for saving my boy," Ray grunted once, clapping Joshua's shoulder. Progress. Gritty. Joshua's arc crested romantic. Mateo's proposal. Spring equinox. Atop Makokata Bluffs, ring simple. Silver compass echoing Alex's tattoo. "Points to you," Mateo said. Knees muddied. Joshua yes-ed through tears. Family gathering for impromptu picnic. Rain held off. Sun blessing. But humanity's shadow, not fairy tale. Joshua grappled depression's whisper post-job loss echo. Night staring ceiling. Mateo's arms anchor. "You're enough," he'd murmur. Therapy unpacked. Dad's ghost. Promises weight emerging lighter. Climax's echo town pride. First annual. Modest march down Main. Joshua and Daniel led. Banners bold. Love wins. Heartland strong. Ray marched midway, Emma on shoulders. Mom waved from sidelines, her pin gleaming. Tom? A postcard. Proud. Late. Redemption's whisper. The memorable storm scene replayed metaphorical. Not rain, but confetti under overcast skies. Brothers embracing amid cheers. Vulnerable, defiant, whole. Joshua pulled Daniel close, whispering, worth breaking every promise. Years folded. Daniel and Alex adopting. Tiny feet pattering. Joshua and Mateo fostering. Murals multiplying. Mom's 60th. Backyard bash. Ray toasting. Tom tentative guest. Scars stories not shackles. In quiet moments, Joshua reflected. The hooks rained that night on the back road. Vowing silence. Birthed roar. Betrayal's blades. Ray's petition. Dad's venom, honed edges sharp. Romance flowered. Mateo's laugh. Daniel's grin eternal. Humanity's close. No perfect bows. Fights lingered. Doubts nipped. But love familial, fraternal, erotic wove resilient. They stood, storm-scarred, under American skies vast, whispering to thunder, we are here. Epilogue's grace. One dawn, Joshua woke to Daniel's text. Photo of Alex and kid at park. Swing-pushing bliss. Thanks for speaking first. Joshua smiled. Mateo's arm heavy sweet. The promise, not broken, evolved into truth.